What are you going to do with that?
Hello, YouTubers.
Fool.
Well, it's not what I'm going to do with it. It all comes on you at one time, see? This here is a fuel tank that goes up in the back of the truck. And the problem is with it, obviously, when it was manufactured, again, they didn't think that it's going to be a lot of weight.
Oh yeah, and those pumps, yeah, they're heavy.
And little cracks. And of course, what the problem is now, if the fuel is there slushing around, and it's coming up through the cracks, and it's leaking down over the sides, and it's, well, for one thing, it's a hazard.
Environmentally.
Yeah, and for the
safety of the drivers.
Yeah, so they want this welded, just welded. And I said, well, I don't think it's going to be much good just to weld it. I think what we should do is probably go ahead and put a reinforcement patch right over it. So.
Oh yeah, another plate or something on the top of it?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah,
So that being said, it's a nice little job. I'm going to set up the TIG. And I'm going,
Is it going at it?
I'm going to,
Are you going to do this first, or are you going to do your other job?
hang on now. I'm going to set up the TIG. I'm going to get a nice little bench and put there. And I'm going to, first of all, take you over to the workbench. And this is really, really easy to do. And I'm going to show you over by the bench. I'm going to tack a couple of pieces together. I'm going to let you practice. And that way, good time now for you to learn a little bit of TIG on that while I'm gone. But you don't need to start until I'm gone. What's wrong?
I don't know what you've been smoking this morning, but I'm not going anywhere near that.
Why?
You did say it was a gas tank.
No, fuel tank.
Well, it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Sure it is.
No,
Fuel, gas?
No, gas is very volatile. Fuel is not so bad. It's all been washed out. You see the suds down in it. Look.
Well, I
Just
don't
look.
care.
You see the suds down in it. I don't know. You can't see.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Now that being said, when you do go to go at it, just check the monitor up there and make sure like I'm at least down by the road.
You got no worries. That is going to be there waiting for you.
Do you
when
know
get
something?
back.
I feel like, I'll tell you, like
That's not in my job description. That's not my job.
I kind of feel, I'll tell you the truth, I kind of feel like I'm Beaker on the Muppet Show.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Like this guy.
Pretty much same thing.
Pretty same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him for years.
No. No, I suppose it's something funny got up to him to kill
Well,
him.
now, like you always tell me, the job is still going to be here when I come back to it. Nobody's taking my job. So nobody's taking that job either.
I got that fuel tanks is not my favorite. Do you know something? My first experience with a fuel tank was a 5,000 gallon tank. Was my first, and it was a fuel tank, and it was midsummer. And I remember at the time I was a heavy equipment operator, and of course they were looking for volunteers because at the time they never had these scissor jacks or scissors lifts, right?
Oh, yeah.
So at the time when a welder had to do something, I mean, you strapped him into the inside of the big bucket and you lifted him up,
Wow.
and he did his welding. So anyway, they had a fuel tank leak at the top of the, well, what's similar is this? And this was the main big fuel tank, like for the whole organization. It was crazy. So anyway, Christian was his name. He was from France. Chris was about, I'm gonna say 6'5", tall guy. Kind of reminded me of Big Bird. That type of,
Oh, wow.
but like a really, 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 really good welder. And I remember Chris saying, and he come out and in this French, half and half English. He says, Paul, you come with me. You come with me. I said, what for? He said, we're going to weld a fuel tank. And I said, oh, okay, no problem. So he said, well, you come over to the welding shop door. He says, and we're going to load up the machine and all of this. He said, take the big loader. So we had a 988 at the time, and we loaded everything in the bucket. Now I'm not thinking fuel tank. Like I don't know what I was thinking, right? So anyway, he was in the bucket and he was looking up at me in the cab and he was pointing to the fuel tank.
Huh?
And I'm looking down at my fuel gauge and she's full, you know? So anyway, I got out on the catwalk and I said, I don't need fuel.
Oh,
The loader, I just fueled up the loader. No, we're going to weld that. And that's when the terror struck. Like I know this thing is full because the fuel truck just left.
Yeah.
And I got in, and of course on those things back then, how to shut them off, you'd pull up on the fuel pedal. Reach down, pull. And I got it, I said, no, Chris, hang on a second. Let's set the story straight here. You want to weld that fuel tank? Ben oui. Well, I said, I don't want any part of this. He said, Paul, it's very, very safe. And I said, well, how do you know? I said, there's fuel in it. Oh, yes. I said, well, how much fuel is in it? He said, it's completely full to the top. He said, it's safe to weld.
Oh.
And I said, I don't think so. I got down off the catwalk. I walked into the main office. I said, folks, you're not paying me enough to get killed here. And he said, well, if Chris says it's safe, it's safe. It's up to you. But anyway, I went back. And of course, Chris was my buddy. He showed me a lot about welding and stuff. So I watched him with eyes closed, like that was going to help. The eyelids were going to protect me if it blew up.
Well, if it happened, you didn't want to see it coming?
But he welded it.
Wow.
And he welded it full. It was absolutely amazing. Now, in the meantime, he was a very, very good welder. So what I intend to do with this, I asked the company to steam it out for 4 hours. So it's been steamed out for 4 hours, and they went one step further, and they went ahead and they flushed it the best part of a day. Just let the water run through it. So that being said, Kathy, you should be perfectly safe.
Well, back to what you just said. You're not paying me enough.
So anyway, what my intentions are going to do, what I'm going to do here now, is I'm basically going to fill it, plug the hole. You got a drain here. I'm going to plug that drain, and I'm going to fill it probably ½ an inch from the top. And then I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do with it.
Alrighty.
It won't be my first time blowing up a wrench.
Well, when you started to tell your story, that's what I thought you were going to tell, but that's a different one.
Not my first time. It's not my first time blowing up a wrench.
No.
That's another story.
That's right.
And I blew her up. Like.
Yep. And lived to tell the story.
Yeah, just like the mushroom over Hiroshima.
So everybody had their accents,
Yeah.
even you. Right?
Yeah. And I got out and I walked around. It wasn't a bruise.
Nope.
Never
scratched.
Never got a scratch. And looked around. And boy, she was gone. And none of that. There was 2 of us in the shop.
2 people. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, it always helps to be in the middle of the explosion.
That's where you were. Yeah.
Yeah. It's true, eh?
Well, they always say right place, right time, or safety, or whatever. I mean, you were in an area where it didn't occur. Because, I mean, it was destruction everywhere around.
The only place there wasn't debris was where I was standing.
Yep, that's right. The other guy, well, he was gone. He left the garage altogether.
Well,
he was gone.
well, he kind of... The only thing I think that saved Tom was the track on the door got caught in his clothing. that saved her from being blown down the yard.
Pull it back.
Yeah.
Like,
But you know,
like the suspender thing, right? The
yeah,
suspenders.
you're kind of much younger back then, and you kind of think that you're indispensable and
Indestructible.
yeah, indestructible. You know, it's just one of those things. And I'll tell you, folks, like if you're ever working in an environment where you can smell gas at the beginning of the job, like the problem is with fumes is fumes lay low.
Yeah.
Okay. And in this garage that I was working in, it had a pit that you used to drive your car over. And of course, we had a snowmobile in, and we had it jacked up, and the fuel's coming out of the overflow of the carburetors, going down inside the body of the skidoo, and going down in the pit.
Mm-hmm.
And like the smell of fuel was terrible. But after a while, you don't smell it.
No, you didn't notice
You
it.
become immune to it. Now, some people will get a headache, but whatever is with me, fumes like gas fumes don't bother me. And anyway, when the job was done, we put the skidoo down, or put the track or something on. Buddy took the skidoo and went on. Actually, Buddy died this year, late last year, that owned the skidoo. And anyway, God rest his soul. And anyway, he took the skidoo and went on. Next job was to weld up the frame of a trailer. And it was like in January month, and it was cold, eh? I'm just going to tell the story so people will understand the things that can happen to you. We put the door up, Buddy took the skidoo and went on, and my buddy Tom was over, say, by this door, as an example. And I said, now Tom, I got to weld up this trailer. So I said, don't go looking at me welding, because you could get a flash, a welder's flash. He said, good enough, and boy, it was a cold night. So here I am, and I welded this corner, and I welded this corner, and I welded this corner, and I came over and I kneeled down, and this was arc welding back then.
Yeah.
And I started to weld this corner, and I noticed like that corner was right on the edge of the pit cover,
Yeah.
right on the very edge.
Wow.
And I said, the trailer was kind of big. I said, I won't need to move that over. She said, what difference does it make? And I got down and I started to weld, and I heard this woof. It was just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I said, I wonder what that was. That's just a noise I never heard before. But anyway, I went on to weld. Then I got cold, right? So I put up my welder's mask, and I looked over at Tom, and Tom was hooked onto the trim of the door, and he was like this, and he was like totally blank faced. And I said, Tom, the door wasn't there. So I said, Tom, can you put down the door? I'm froze to death. And he looked at me, he said, the door just went down the beepity driveway.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what happened? He said, I don't know. He said, man, I lit a smoke, and he said, all I heard was a woof.
Yeah.
And I looked up. The wall was pushed out,
Yeah.
and every bit of insulation that was in the attic was sucked down between the ceiling and the wall and down in the garage. Now, not this garage, folks, down in the garage. And every tool that was hung on the wall, the drawers of the toolbox were
Out.
sucked out.
Tools all over the floor.
Sockets everywhere. There was chop saws around me. There was chop saw discs everywhere. And I'm thinking, it's not possible. And I'm thinking, maybe I'm dead.
You had a little circle around you. I don't think it was 20 inches round.
There was absolutely, when I got up, there was no room for me to step. I had trouble getting over to the door.
Yeah, you had to step out over.
Yeah.
But nothing hit you. It was
Nothing hit me.
incredible.
And I realized then that there's got to be some higher calling for me. Because
Right.
I should have died.
Yeah, and it wasn't your time.
Should have died. Yeah. And it would have died and not know I was gone.
No, you didn't even know that all happened.
No, just got the chills, right?
And they
like when
heard
your
the-
mother shows up, that kind of, you know?
They heard the explosion in the next community.
Well, but Buddy over there next door, his wife had a curio cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
And in the curio cabinet, she had all her fancy dishes. Sure, they fell down in the curio cabinet.
Yeah.
And the other next door neighbor started to laugh because he said, oh, Paul's up to something over there now.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
blew her up.
It's probably 30 years ago.
Yes.
At least.
Oh, it's longer than
Longer.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's longer than that. So anyway, folks, you got to be careful. And yes, these things are very, very dangerous. And look, if I could get Kathy to weld it, I would, but she won't do it, so I guess I got to do it.
That's right. I'm going on camera. I'm going on, what do they call it? Where I'm on record. That's it. I'm on record. I'm not welding that.
No, I kind of figured as much.
But that
So-
being said, you got filling it with water and everything. You're going to fill it with water. There'd be
I'm
an
going to fill it
extra.
with water. Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think water's flammable. And sure, it's full of suds.
Yeah.
It's chock right full of suds. So we're going to proceed. I'm going to set everything up. I'm going to try to clean this. I'm probably going to have to clean this area with acetone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that don't work, I can kiss my acetone goodbye.
No one will get to see this video.
No. Hey, it could be the one that goes viral. Yeah.
Let's hope it's not your time again.
And just, if it don't work, you can just say, title it and say, Paul fell to pieces on the job.
That could be your title. It could have fell to pieces, but it
Yeah,
didn't.
no, if everything goes, you know, it's say, Paul fell to pieces on the job and he's left the building. He's somewhere in Oregon right now.
Oh my.
Anyway, I gotta go to work. Well, it's a good thing you asked me about that.
Yeah, I was surprised.
You said, well, why didn't they seal this? And I said, well, they can't seal that. That's truck box.
That's right, but
And when I haul it
thought
up, just look, folks.
I thought they were using the truck box to make an extra large tank.
Look.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Man, look how thin that is. Holy smokes, man. Like, it's just incredible. It's incredible.
Oh yeah, and the other one's gone all together.
Yeah.
Look at all of them. They rust too.
Well, that's I'll tell you, that's not this rust, and that's probably they got chain in it. Or
Oh,
they got,
true.
you know,
Yeah.
so.
But yeah, I really thought that they used this to build a tank.
And that's their gold series.
It is.
Man, I wouldn't want to see the copper series. Or their plastic version.
Let's hope that lasts long better than.
If that's their gold series.
Yeah.
Oh man, this has been a week of this stuff.
Yeah. Surprises.
It's been a full week of TIG welding.
Mm-hmm.
Eh?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what's. Oh well, let's get going.
Doing measuring.
Yeah, I got some quarter plate. I think this is 1/8. I shouldn't be sticking my hand in. I just washed that in acetone and that.
Filled with water.
Wash
Yeah,
it.
I can smell it. Yeah, it's acetone.
Yeah, there's here in the bottom. But it's perfectly safe. You won't have any problems, Kathy.
He still thinks I'm going to weld it.
Hey?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm setting it up and getting ready. So I still got to leave, right?
I'm not saying anything. I'll surprise you at the last moment.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it. You'll surprise me at the last moment. I need another weapon. Hang on a second. All they could find in such short notice. Honest. I hit my Singa.
I'm not paying attention. I'm noticing the foil folder.
I can't. You have file folders, sure you're not using them? Sure you're always out here.
Obviously.
I'm just
I'll have to factor that into the bill.
I'm just trying to get this stuff done before the file folders rot out.
Yeah.
They degrade in the office.
Yeah, you're a real hero, aren't you?
It's just as well for you to be out here doing this because you're out here all the time anyway. Sure, I got no peace here. I can't even have stereo on.
You should be getting used to it by now.
Can't get used to it.
Oh.
Can't get used to it. Listen,
Wrong now.
oh, there's plenty wrong. There's just no way of rectifying it. Can you get me a ruler? Well, come to think of it, I'm married to one.
I'm not a ruler, I'm a dictator. Difference.
Well,
Big
you
difference.
finally fessed up. And that's what you are.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
then you go get the ruler.
I had more weights in North Korea.
You go get the ruler.
I need a ruler.
Okay, I'm loaning you my 7-Up ruler.
I want a Coca-Cola ruler.
Now, how old is that? Yeah, that's right, because 7-Up is Pepsi, isn't it?
That's 3 years older than dirt.
Yeah. Now, Google how old dirt is. It's pretty old.
Yeah, that's pretty old. It's pretty old, there's no doubt about it. What does that remind you of? First thing right off the bat.
A circle, a hole.
Come on, folks at home. Nah, you're all wrong. Reminds me of the sleeve that the 45 records used to come in.
Oh my gosh. Okay, how many out there guessed it?
Did it not?
It did.
Yeah. I had a flashback then, like bang, like you wouldn't believe.
Wow.
I can remember living in Lab City and up in the Carl Lake Shopping Center. You'd go down in the bottom floor of the shopping center, and they had a record store. Oh my gosh! And as a teenager, and I remember this group called the Eagles came out with this song called "One of These Nights," and I mean I had to have it, and I couldn't find it in the album, but I found it in the 45. I still have the 45.
Yeah, you've got a lot of 45s.
And it's out in the jukebox now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what come to my mind.
You still got a lot of albums. Speaking of albums, do you know
They're
they're
coming back.
Yep, they're selling record players and everything.
Yeah,
They're playing them.
big time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big time. So anyway, this is what my patch is going to look like.
All right.
Hey?
Okay, yeah, so you're going to do the whole record
I'm just gonna
plate
do-
cover, we'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, and I'm going to give it back to him, and I'm going to tell him that could give out one of those nights. Or one of these nights. He's not got a clue what I'm talking about, but everybody else at home knows.
Everybody else at home know.
Yeah, but that'll work. So, but I'm going to fix the spinal cracks first, and then we're going to then I'm going to cut the patch. The plasma's got to be ready, got to be hooked up. The TIG has got to be hooked up. Well, I'll hook up the TIG now so people can have some kind of an idea of what it takes to hook up TIG. So first of all, we need power.
You do, we need power.
We need power. We got the power. So people will always say, well, don't you have it where you can just turn it on? Well, no, because the shop is set up in such a way, to some people it seems small, and there are times it gets a little congested, but the way it's set up, there's 220 reciprocals all over the place, so that way I can basically use the equipment anywhere in the shop. I don't have to have it in a dedicated area, which is good.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah, so what I usually do, of course, I don't even need an extension cord for this one, because, come on, crazy Kurt, follow me. My little buddy.
You serviced his wheels yesterday.
Yeah, we had to take the fenders off and service the wheels.
Yeah, that was fun.
The wheels were getting kind of noisy, and I don't know when I built that cart. That cart's been built maybe 6 years.
Yeah, can't be that long.
Yeah, and it works really well. It's been a great cart. Never any problems with it. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to hook this up down. First of all, we need ground. This is our ground. Right, it's in there.
Yeah, get grounded.
Yeah, you got to be well grounded.
Yeah,
Too bad I'm not.
you're grounded.
I'm grounded. Yeah, that came when I said I do, and yeah,
It just got worse from there, right?
yeah. You know, you look over and your relatives are there, and the priest says, say I do, and I look over at your crowd, and they're all going. So, I did. So now we have to get the foot pedal in. And that's over here, hung on the slung on the side of the T card. Now you can get these wireless now.
Probably not as good.
Oh yes, they're good, but expensive.
Well, that's not good.
Well, the thing is that I don't know. Like wireless is great, but it just seems like I guess I'm old school. I like hardwired in certain cases.
Yeah, that's true.
And this, of course, the next thing, say you got something wireless, next thing somebody's sending out a virus,
Yeah.
and you're stepping on that, and it got a virus goes up leg, next thing you're off sick for 2 or 3 weeks because someone sent your foot pedal a virus.
That's right.
Right?
True.
I'm not going at that.
No, we're not gonna do that.
No. No, but seriously, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
they
can
really
see-
need to be wireless, yeah.
Yeah, you know, but it's very expensive for that stuff. And when you're a small business, folks, like, you prioritize. Like, there's other things that if we need it, we'll sit back and we'll assess it. We'll say, well, okay, we can get more bang for the buck here than we can if we bought this wireless pedal.
Right.
Really, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So,
The
it
name
is
of the
well.
game.
Now, somebody asked me the other day, a fellow by the name of Milton, and he asked me what size of cool mate I had on the TIG. And this is a system I kind of put together myself, and that's a Cool Mate 3, Milton. Just in case you didn't see my answer, because I was probably a day late answering. And it works quite well, and it keeps... Basically, what happens is this torch has got a number of lines in it. It's got the main power line, and then it's got some hoses. And what happens is, when you're TIG welding, if you've got an air-cooled torch, after a while they get really hot on the hand. Do you remember when I was doing that cabinet, that probably some people that watch us, they'll notice that I had the Shell Oil replica gas pump.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
But it's a display cabinet, and that was all hand TIG welded, and it's all quarter plate. And we had a different setup back then. We had a stationary Miller arc welder, and we had a high frequency arc starter hooked up to that, and that's what gave us the stability to be able to weld in AC aluminum. But it was an air-cooled torch, and it used to get so hot that I used to have to let it go, and I used to open up the door and lay it out in the snow
To cool it.
to cool it. Then I'd bring it in and I'd weld another few feet, put it out in the cold, let it cool. With this particular system here, when I turn on the Cool-Aid, it basically cycles coolant up through here, cools off the torch, goes back down, goes in, gets recooled again, comes back, and it's just a steady go. And it works well. And I have never ever had to throw it under the door.
No.
It's been a fabulous system. And it's a really nice rig. And of course, now we have all of that hooked up, and we have our argon turned on. I'll hit the fuel pedal. See?
Yeah.
And that's how it works. So I got it up to 200 amp. I'll probably, I'll turn it back a little bit. And then I'm going to start to weld it if it needs to be tweaked. We've been doing a lot of aluminum welding this week, so I've probably got my settings just about perfect anyway. And if I need to tweak it, well, I can tweak it. The cleaning, it's on AC now. It's on AC and it's on high frequency. Somebody asked me the other day while I'm here, they said, I thought, and they posted, they said, I thought you had to have a square end because that's very pointy.
Okay.
And he said, I thought you had to have a square end to weld aluminum. Well, technically yes and technically not. There's two types of systems here with this machine. There's, well, I might not use proper terminology because I use slang so much now I don't know what's right or what's wrong. But there's two types. You have scratch arc and you have high frequency arc. And see what happens with scratch arc, when you have your machine set up for scratch arc, you have to literally touch the metal before you can get it to start welding. High frequency is just before you get to the metal, it'll automatically jump to the metal.
Wow.
And there's a lot of advantages to that. And the advantage to that is you don't contaminate your tungsten. But the difference is with high frequency, it's pointy. With scratch arc, it's not square, it's a ball. It looks like a ball on the end. And you set it up to do that, right? You can you can do that.
Do
Well,
you
I
have
used to
choice
use.
or you use them for different
Well, I use them for different applications.
Yeah.
Now, when we go on some jobs that we haven't shown, there's a lot of computers in their facility, and what happens with computer systems, you shouldn't really use high frequency arc starting in a computer environment because you can drive things kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll turn off that and I'll go back to scratch arc, and it's much safer for their environment.
Yeah.
And that's the reason for it. I personally love high frequency. It's a much nicer system. But anyway, that's a little bit of totally useless information, but somebody did ask it. And that's another thing we should be doing too. Like, try not to get overwhelmed with it, but if somebody got any questions, certain questions on certain things, you can post them and just say, you know, maybe you could answer it in the next video. If we get enough questions, I can probably pick the top 10
That's a
and
good
probably
idea.
just have a sit-down video where we can address those particular questions
All at one time.
all at one time.
And then they're not embedded in videos. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I can't answer them all anyway. Like, one guy asked me last night for my email address because he said he's got comments and questions and concerns that they're too long to put in the comment section. Holy smokes, man! Like, people must think that's all I'm doing, but I don't. I got a life too. I can't possibly dedicate that much time to one comment.
No.
Right?
You're your own moderator, right?
Yeah, really, you have to be, right?
Yeah.
And if I could, I'd hire somebody to answer all the questions, but I don't know anybody who
Then
could.
that's true. They're answering in ways that maybe you wouldn't answer, so
Yeah.
it's not you, is it?
But like, it's something to think about. Like, if you got a question and you're in no rush for the answer, but it's an important question, and don't ask me how to fix stuff.
No.
Like, we're not a technical assistance channel. We're not waiting by the computer like a technical assistance operator with the keyboard. Okay, how do I get more pressure on my oil pump? We're not that, But if you have any questions on something that you've seen us do, and you're kind of confused of why we did it that way, that's a real good question.
Yeah.
Because
fair.
everybody learns from it then,
True.
right? Okay, so I gotta get ready now. I gotta go get my little stool, and I got to. Boy, that's some cold, but that's the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Maybe the
Well, no,
good.
if I go up, it's not going to matter. Well, I mean, I'm going down below anyway. It's going to be hot enough where I'm going.
Don't you kid yourself.
Look, it's perfectly safe, I think. Folks, don't try this at home.
No.
Seriously. Well,
Extreme
I'm going to put
warning
a
here.
disclaimer in the front, before, but. Like, I laugh and joke and carry on with this stuff.
Yeah.
When that's turned off,
We're serious.
it's a whole different situation. I've done a lot of prep before we got to this point, and not only have I done a lot of prep, but the customer who I trust my life with
It's done a lot of
has
prep.
done a lot of prep.
Yeah.
Because he don't want nothing happening to me because we're his lifeline.
Exactly.
And he said, no, Paul, we have people for this, and I'm going to overlook it. I'm going to make sure I'm going to be there, and I'm going to make sure it's done, and it's going to be done properly. And I have no doubt in my mind it was done properly. So this is not a how to repair a fuel tank. This is us repairing a fuel tank.
Yeah.
Don't follow what we're doing, because if you miss a step,
Yeah. Don't try to do it at home.
No, if you miss a step and you have a fire, or God forbid, you blow the tank up, or if it wasn't prepped right to begin with, it's a problem, and it's going to be your problem, not ours. So, anyway, that's enough. Where's my hood?
Okay, I wanted to get a chance
I
to
want
have a
to
look.
hang out the hood.
Hang out in the hood.
I got to hang out the hood.
Well, I'm getting ready to run some errands, so I wanted to see what you had set up.
Oh, no. You're good. Look, my hood is all cleaned up for you and everything. Look.
Oh, yeah, you did that.
Look, all cleaned up. Look, got my cheater in here. See my cheater?
Yep.
I better watch it. Get my friggin' eyes clawed out if I say cheater around you. A cheater is the thing you put in there so you can still wear your glasses and see what you're welding.
Yeah.
Get it all turned up. So anyway, where are you going? Seriously?
Seriously, I got errands to run.
I'm just put the camera down, or put it on the tripod, and I'm going to show you how this works?
No, 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 no.
Why?
Because I told you I've got errands to run.
No, but seriously, I mean,
Oh, I do.
you're afraid of this? Listen,
You do it.
What? No. What about taking one for the team? I mean, look, it could literally blow up.
Yeah, well.
You can take one for the team.
Somebody else is going to have to take one for the team. Why did it have to be me?
Guys, I couldn't tell you. It might be love, but it only goes so far. Jeez. Well,
They can sense I'm resisting.
Oh, yeah. Well, go on, batter then.
I'm battering.
Seriously, folks, I think she's scared to death. Honest to God, she's leaving. Hey! Come on back!
No, I don't think so. I'm not as stupid as I look.
Oh man. You're not going to take one for the team.
No, I'm not.
What a woman.
Listen, call me when you get it done.
Typical upper management. Typical.
How long do you think you're going to be?
Well, I mean, I might be forever. If you sees the mushroom cloud going up over Bay Roberts, you'll know there were fumes in the tank. Okay, folks, first welds, upper management, still gone. Just show you what I got done. You can see along here now, that's the first run. So I've actually survived the first run. There's still cracks there, I don't have them done yet. But I don't have to be too particular with it. But I just wanted to show you the welds. Okay guys, it ain't pretty, but it's pretty strong. So what I've got done, as you can see, I basically, anything where there was spider cracks, I filled it in, and I went over it, and went around it a couple of times. So it's pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to take, let me see, something like that, and I'm going to patch it with quarter aluminum, and then I'm going to TIG weld it all in, and that should be twice as strong as it was when it was first manufactured. I think it's only 1/8 plate. I drilled through it, it was only 1/8. So like I said, it's going to be quarter on top, and it's going to be spread out enough that it should be able to withstand all the forces that it's been taking. Oh yeah, when the welding is done.
I bought back a peace offering,
Oh yeah?
coffee, and a
Cool.
turnover.
Oh yeah? I'll tell you, not much to turn over here today. As soon as I go moving to work, management takes off.
Well, I bought in a couple, so
Oh yeah.
that should make up for it.
I just cut that freehand, the
Okay.
circle. I didn't, because that's all going to be hidden now when I weld it in, right? So that's, yeah, see, I got it all the cracks.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah.
busy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'll work.
That's why I'm paying you the big bucks.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Impoverished, my son, it's impoverished. That's what we call it. Impoverished.
Impoverished, that's what they call it in Newfoundland, is it?
Impoverished, yeah. Because it's worse than that. If the wolf comes to our back door, you got to bring his own lunch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do there. See?
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, well, it's going to be strong.
Gonna take
And
your
that's
break now?
Yeah, I'll take a break, yeah.
Alrighty. Almost ready to weld it?
Yep, see it here? Look. Like to get that bent down a little bit.
Oh yeah?
And, yeah. Well, I'd like to if I could. If I can't, it's no big deal, but I think it would be cool. So I'm going to see what can happen here. This might not work out too good.
It's worth a try.
Yeah. just gonna fit. Just gonna fit in there.
To use the small one.
Yeah, don't much matter. I could put the big one on easy enough, but still, I only just want to bend it a bit just to see what happens. Yeah, don't go getting saucy. I really should have the big one, but I'm too lazy to
move it.
Just want to see how far we're off.
Yeah.
One never knows, doesn't it?
No. Could be lucky enough to go spot on.
Well, I tell you what, it's not bad, but I'm going to give it another little tweak. Yeah.
I think a little bit'll do.
Yeah. Yep. Wowzers.
Yeah.
Tell you, that's impressive, but I think they still might go away.
A little bit.
A little tiny, teeny.
Okay.
Oh yeah. That's lovely.
It is.
Yep.
That was a good idea to bend it around there.
Yeah, well, it'll make it better for the...
Stronger too.
Well, yeah, stronger. It is definitely stronger, but it just gives it that
Yeah.
cool aesthetics. It looks like when that's done, hopefully. I would have liked to have some checkered quarter, but...
But then how thick did a checker go? Might not
Oh,
be
you
thick
can get
enough.
that thick. Oh, yeah, you can
Can
get
you?
that quarter thick. I've had it here quarter thick, but it just that... and there might be some kicking around. Hey, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I can't keep at it like that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna clean up this because I don't know, that looks like it's paint or something on that. So I'll just put it in the bead blaster and then I'm going to clean it up along the edges, and then I'm gonna start the TIG process again.
Perfect. Hot on the singers?
That's some hot.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're on a roll, anybody who welds, they're going to notice, they're going to say that I do the same thing. You know that if you stop midway It's going to fool up the look of it. So you put up with the heat until you can't take the heat no more. So you finish the weld, then you screen.
Oh, okay. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I got into a little bit of dirt here.
Oh, yeah?
Well, you can come over and show them. It's like it's not.
It's solid.
Oh, it's solid, but it's not beautiful. But it's good enough, you know.
Like I said, got road salt and everything on it.
Oh, you can see it. Huh? You clean it as good as you can, but and I'll tell you the truth. When you're cutting something with a plasma cutter, it don't act the same when you're welding it either.
No.
No, it's contaminated, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But we're getting there.
Carry on as if you were normal.
Yeah, job do that.
Come along.
Yeah, I hit a bit of dirt there on that flange where, but it's done. It's
That's
good
different
enough.
metal too, so.
Yeah, it's all done there. I just got to try to get that lip after.
Yeah. Solid.
Hey, that's some strong.
Yeah. You won't break that again.
Well, I'm hoping not.
No.
No, it's not good. Well, they say it's not good for business if it don't break again. It's not good for business if it keeps breaking.
That's right, so you're in a bad spot, eh?
Yeah, well, I'd rather fix it right. We don't have any comebacks.
No, never.
Hopefully now.
First time.
Huh?
Fix it right the first time.
Yeah. Well, it looks good. You know, it's.
Just that underlip then.
I could have MIG welded, right?
Yeah.
But with something as critical as this, I like to be able to MIG it or TIG it.
Okay.
Which reminds me, people ask me, what's the difference between MIG and TIG? Well, MIG is for production. It's a reel of wire that constantly comes out. It'll constantly feed out through like this, and you keep on going. TIG is tungsten and a filler rod.
Oh, you don't feed it in, you hold it.
You hold it, right? The thing is with TIG, the beauty with TIG, you got to say everything that it does. Whereas with MIG, when you pull the trigger, you're at the mercy of God. You know, like, I mean, you do have some control, but TIG is really controlled. They say if you're really good with TIG, you can weld a razor blade to a railway track.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm dealing with two different sizes of metal here now.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with 1/8 to 1/4.
Right.
So I can always adjust my voltage with my pedal. That's what my pedal is for.
Okay.
Yeah. It might look like I'm sitting here driving a race car, but I'm not.
No.
So that's the advantage. With TIG, you can, like when we're doing decorative aluminum welding, like on motorcycles and stuff, like sometimes the owner will even specify, like we call this like a roll of dimes. Some people even specify how high they want them and how close they want them together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've had it like that.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. And of course, then you're working with all brand new material. There's no contaminants in it. It makes for a better job. Anyway, I look at it cool, then I'm going to go after that.
Welding's completed?
That part of it, yeah.
Yeah, can we look?
Yep. Have a look, see.
We're nosy like that. Oh,
Yeah, bunch of nosy buggers. Well, it's strong.
It is strong. You can see it.
Now, folks, I know there's going to be people out there saying, I wouldn't have done it that way, I would have done it this way, and I would have put a support on it. I'm doing what I'm told, and if you got a better way of doing it, don't tell me, show me. Do one on video, send me the link, and let me have a look-see. See if I can pick the bones out of it.
Fair game.
Fair game, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, so now, I guess the only thing left to do is try to fix that lid. Because
Yeah, that's a problem.
they never asked to have that done, but I know what happened. They forgot to ask.
Right.
So we're not going to tell them anything.
Surprise them?
We're going to go ahead and fix it. We're going to say nothing until they come to pick it up. And when they come to pick it up, they're going to take it and throw it in their vehicle. And they're going to go on, happy as a lark. And then they're going to say, oh my gosh, should have told Paul to fix that.
Yeah, shoulda.
Haul it up and then do it.
Yeah.
It's gonna go up.
Because you're right. I mean, that lid could blow down on your head or something.
Yeah, that's not copacetic. That's wind take that. And people get hurt like that, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, just put your head there.
You're trying to kill me.
I'm not trying to kill you.
And you're not even trying to be discreet about it.
No, it's not. There's something about that, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, Houston, we have a problem. There's cardboard in behind that.
Seriously. Why would you want cardboard in there?
Insulation, I guess, boy.
Hmm.
I know why they put it there, just to keep the lid separated from the...
Oh yeah, the two sheets of stuff.
Just
of course,
look,
that can't
yeah.
even be a sheet of stuff. It's too thin,
Have
right?
a look at the welding. Huh?
Oh yeah.
It's not too good.
Mm-hmm. It's not too good at all.
It's not copacetic.
No, it's nowhere near close.
I'm not professing to do it any better, but I certainly wouldn't have done it no worse. Well, I think what I'm going to have to do is get this thing out of here. And then...
The shocks are still good though, aren't they, Mr. Brian?
they seem to be. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get them out of there. I'm going to cut this off, and then I'll put a piece here and I'll weld that to the piece.
And reattach it.
Yeah, I think so.
You're nearing completion?
Yeah, we're getting there, but man, I'll tell you, like the back of this was this layer of aluminum was some thin and it was some corroded. Because I know what's going on with it. They got this cardboard put behind it,
Right.
and it's right damp.
Oh.
And I'd say now, what's going on, it's causing the problem with the welding, right? I gotta get around there. Try to see.
Very thin.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I just put a backing plate there. I never put too much time in that type of thing. But I had to tear the weather strip out, so I had some.
Okay. Another piece to put back.
Yeah, I had a piece to go back there, so.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a surprise.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have wanted it fixed. It's just that they never thought. They were looking at the bigger picture, I guess.
Yes.
And that's still some more.
Yeah.
Of course, they might not be any good either, but what's going on now? Oh yeah.
Yeah, good. Because at least when you got something to attach it to, you can buy new shocks.
Yes, yeah. Princess Auto is a good place for shocks.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, you get them pretty cheap, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, look, it works, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's good.
yeah. Ain't no wonder those braking shoes. Shocks, those shocks really should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boy. Anyway, that's done.
Okay. Good.
That's done. So, after this video, a BX mod.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
But there's a video to go up before this one, then there's this one, and then there'll be the BX mod. So
Stay tuned for that.
yeah, it's a mod. Well, it's been done. I'm sure it's been done. Yeah, it's been done before, but it's never been done like this before. This is just super cool, super tidy.
Whoa. So you're going to put a twist on it?
And you just came home with the other stuffs
I did.
that I needed for it. So, hey, it's Friday.
Yeah. Going to get a lot of wind.
We're going to get a lot of wind. I should drain the water on this because I think you're going to have a hard time lifting that in the back of his truck with all that water in it.
Yeah, I think so.
Hey?
Yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to sling that.
He done some laughing. He said yesterday, he said, do you think you're going to be all right? He's in welding that. You know, I said, that's pretty tricky stuff. And I said, well, usually anything like technical like that, I'll get Kathy to weld it, right? And he looked at me and then it hit him.
Sometimes you say it so seriously, you
Oh,
never
yeah.
know.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the way to get it out.
It's coming out in a hurry.
Yeah. So I don't need the 45 record player your 45 record sleeve anymore.
No, no.
Okay?
So you
Yeah.
throw away your sleeve.
Throw away the sleeve. Just watch next week another one will come in just like it, and I'll be looking through the garbage for the sleeve.
You really need that.
Yeah. And of course now it's like cooking a good meal. You gotta do the dishes. Now I gotta clean up. Well, we cleaned up a little bit. We cleaned up where the plasma was. So folks, something a little different for you to look at. I hope somebody picked up some kind of information out of it, or some little trick. And hey, where's my tungsten? Oh, I had to sharpen it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I don't know what to do with it. Maybe it's over here. Yeah, so yeah, here it is. When I'm putting away my TIG, I'll always resharpen my tungsten. And I'll put it back in, so that way, when the job is done, when I'm starting a new job, I'm starting fresh. Another thing too for guys that's TIG welding is I always pull this apart. Let me see now if I can show you this. This is kind of. I might have to take my word for it.
Yeah, it's tough to get apart.
Yeah, there's something that I do with this.
Right.
And the reason why I do it. Okay, I got it. What I do, folks, is I pull this apart and I look in here. And the reason why I look in there is because in some cases here I was welding overhead.
Right.
And you can have pieces of slag or aluminum drop down in your nozzle, and it will change the way that the argon comes out for cleaning the metal. You could actually block one of the holes and you'll only get enough argon coming out on one side, so you're only getting half the cleansing. I'm going to tell you folks, and I'm telling you because I learned the hard way. We were out here one night working, remember?
I remember. As soon as you started talking about it, I remember.
And we were doing this decorative railing for a government building. And I'm going to tell you folks, like, it was just it was going great first.
Yeah.
But about halfway through, I said, holy smokes, what happened to the machine?
Yeah, you thought there was something wrong with the machine.
And anyway, I said, well, we just got to stop the project and we'll send it in for repairs tomorrow. Anyway, it's kind of tormenting me, and I happened to look up there and I seen this big piece of aluminum stuck up there. And I said, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. And anyway, cleaned it all out, went back to work. We worked till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, got the job done, went to work the next morning, installed it, got paid 3 or 4 months later, and no. Got paid and everything worked out good. So just a little tip for anybody TIG welding. Check inside the nozzle.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Check inside the cup.
Exactly.
So folks, that's going to be it. I hope you guys have a good weekend. It's Friday. We're going to clean up, going to throw this out by the door, call it a day. We have a windstorm coming tomorrow. And we have rain, no snow, and then freezing rain.
Our friends had a windstorm in Michigan.
Yes.
They got power down until Monday.
Yes. Terrible, eh?
Oh, yeah, it's awful.
Not good.
No.
And Mark had an accident,
Had an accident because of the wind.
The wind took him, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, if you're watching, I know you're watching, you have to fill your pockets with rocks,
Yeah.
right? Just you keep filling them with rocks and everything like that, and that'll keep you grounded. You know, even a couple of concrete blocks that tied onto your ankle so you can drag it, still better than blown away. Isn't it?
Yes, this is heavy as it is.
And the advice is free.
Yeah.
So folks, have a good weekend. Take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. Don't go texting and driving. And for the love of the Lord, don't go taking handicapped parking spaces. They're there for a reason, and the people who have the cars, the permits to use them, really need them. So with that, God bless.